And it was certainly a colorful press conference, but one of the things the president mentioned was oil prices, as you said, and how he watches them very closely. Remember, he backed away from harshly imposing the Iran sanctions after oil prices spiked. He then said implementation would be gradual. Oil came down significantly. Meantime, if you want lower oil prices, you pump more supply, and that's what's happening right here in the United States. We're producing more oil on a daily basis than the Russians, than the Saudis. Think about the impact of that statement for a second, and if you've ever thought that we would be saying that. Speaking of the Russians and the Saudis, their production has been creeping back up. Seasonally, right now, demand is also weak. And demand concerns persist when we look at the gridlock potentially coming in Washington. So a lot of the signs right now pointing to oil going lower from here. One caveat to this, the Dems taking the House, there's a very good chance that they're going to make some moves to undo some of the loose energy policy that the president has implemented. That, of course, would mean a little bit of a push for Obama-style energy policies. That could take these prices back up a little higher, but it seems like the president is going to put up a good fight.
Yeah, you know, the interesting thing about looking at oil is that you have oil producers who want prices to remain somewhat high, and they want demand to, they want to find that sweet spot. And yet at the same time, you have the president saying, no, let's go lower, let's go lower.
It's so hard because he really is playing hardball with OPEC. You think about the fact that they're all going to be meeting in Abu Dhabi ahead of this conference this weekend. And a lot of people are saying, well, maybe they'll cut. Do you think that the Russians and that the Saudis are going to sit there and say, we're going to cut, we're effectively going to hand over market share to the United States when it's pumping at 11.6 million barrels a day? If they do that, think about what kind of precedent they're setting. So it's a very tough game. We always call it a game of chicken, and he's playing that game.
Remember, lower oil prices also mean, guys, more help for emerging markets as well. And we know how much stress they've been under as well in the global markets.
Good point.
But one last point, when you think about the energy companies, the earnings were really good in the third quarter. That's because the average price of oil was around $70 a barrel. Next quarter, when you take that average price down, some of these companies are going to struggle. And then, of course, that has an impact on the markets. So there's two ways to look at it.
Oil close to 60 right